think it's very important to see the connection between the ministry of Christ and the Sabbath. Jesus' ministry was people-centered. He's preaching to people. He is healing people's hearts. He is delivering people. He's recovering the sight of people. He's comforting people. He's bringing liberty to people.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he said the same thing about the Sabbath, that the Sabbath is made for men.
Yes.
So Jesus came for men, and the Sabbath he gave for men. And so we see here that the work of Jesus is also the work that the Sabbath was designed to do.
Yes.
So on Sabbath, God wants us to be delivered. He wants us to hear the gospel. He wants us to receive eyesight, either literally or even more especially spiritually. Receive spiritual eyesight, like Brother Noah was mentioning, the issue of these new truths that God wants to reveal to us. And He wants to set us at liberty. God is calling us to rest in Him on the Sabbath. And this rest that we celebrate and we receive on Sabbath is symbolic of the rest that God wants us to have on a daily basis with Him, so that we do not rely on our own works. We do not rely on our own capabilities. We do not, the Sabbath brings a challenge, for example. Just a last thought. There's a challenge that the Sabbath poses. If I don't work on Sabbath, who's going to provide for me?
All right.
If I don't work on, if I choose now to keep the Sabbath, I'm going to lose my job. The question is, are you eating because of your job? Or are you eating because God is providing for you? So this, when you flip it to the spiritual now, it teaches you that you do not receive righteousness through your own works, but you receive righteousness through total dependence on Christ. The same way that you depend on Him to feed you, even though you are fearful of your job, the same way you will depend on Him for righteousness.